Blog Talk Radio.
And happy, wonderful January 8th, 2023 to everyone. All right. Thank you so much, all of you that are here, being here as we continue to support each other as we move forward on our beautiful, amazing journey, what we call, sometimes what we call the Ascension Mission journey. Okay. Let's go ahead, first of all, and bring Zaraya through. And here we go.
Hello.
Hello, Bright Eyes. How are you this morning in the Pacific?
Bright-eyed. Bright-eyed.
Very good. All right, everybody. Before we begin this wonderful call, I want to say thank you to everyone for supporting us, supporting Q, and what we are doing, all each other, and, Q and Zorra, as we go forward in this most up and down and yet beautiful time that we have here together. Thank you all for being there on our call yesterday, and all of those who have participated in the different sessions you have had. It is very rare, and we are very, very blessed that we have Q and Zorra and Zaraya here with us all the time, and they're never gone, which is really wonderful. So let's go ahead and get started with our Zorra call for today. So hopefully we have some questions that are going to be will be answered. I already have a few topics of my own that I would like to begin with. But before we get started, I want everyone just to kind of let's just kind of get into a place so we all feel like we are ready to receive. So everyone, just take 3 deep breaths. So let's go ahead and get started with 3 deep breaths.
Get your headbands out.
Yes, if you have your headbands on hand, it's very, very helpful because, even if you don't know and that you're feeling and don't feel the energies, the more you wear it, the more it will become profound. The more you awaken, the more you will feel the energies that are coming through the cosmic center. And it's super amazing, and of course we'll talk a little bit about that, in terms of how people are reacting to that in terms of what the bodies do. So, anyways, go ahead and get your headbands. I'll give you a few more seconds to do that, and put them on. Okay. And of course, if you don't have one, just be still, and as we go through this. Okay. And I'm going to have Zaraya help us with this. All right. Everybody have their headbands on. So let's go ahead, and to start with, let's do some deep breathing. So take a deep breath and close your eyes. Sit still, back straight as much as possible, and deep breathe in and hold and release slowly through your mouth. And then breathe in when you wish. Again, breathe in and hold. And just feel yourself beginning to relax And slowly, slowly breathe out through the mouth, relaxing, relaxing every part of your body, head, eyes, neck, shoulders, back, torso, all the way down to your feet. And one last time, breathe in. Big breath in and hold, or just do it for 4 seconds. And begin to release through your mouth, relaxing more and more. Muscles feel more relaxed. Back, muscles all the way down to your toes. And now breathe normally. When you do this every day, whether it's at night, middle of the day, or any time, and you want to feel calm, and you want to feel centered, because this brings you back to your center. It makes you more connected as well to what you will be listening to, listening more with your heart, and feeling definitely with your heart mind. All right, so now let's go ahead and get started. So Zaraya, let's get started also. Let's do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And if you have your headbands on, again, you will begin to feel that energy coming through both, Zaraya. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and let's do our 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Zaraya. Thank you.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, receive.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, receive. We receive. And from the goddesses and gods that we are completely healed and balanced, and we know it. And just take a moment just to feel that. Whether you close your eyes and you could feel that energy kind of welling up from within, feeling warmer. Maybe the body's feeling warm. Maybe the hands are tingling. And it's very, very soothing and calming. Okay. Very good, everyone. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started with our show. I think today, as we begin the show again, happy, wonderful 2023 to all of us. And of course, we are still, we are still stuck in time and space, although many of us now are not even sometimes really concerned about that, and we forget what day we're in, and even sometimes the time. And that's fine, because that's all part of this transition. Okay. The first thing that I would like to bring up today is we're going to go on a different type of journey now, going forward with both Zaraya and Zorra. And we're going to start with Billy today. And Zaraya, if you will, I will have to interrupt this part of your call so we can bring in Dr. Tom, so Dr. Tom can bring us information regarding, some updates that he may have, apparently. And we will talk a little bit about the financial systems as well. And, okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Zaraya.
You want to bring him in now, and I'll go after him.
I could do that. Let's go ahead and bring that in so that there isn't any interruption. So let me go ahead and do that. Let me go ahead and bring Dr. Tom in, everybody, now that we have Zaraya here, and we'll get that news out of the way. So, okay, Dr. Tom, if you're there, we're going to be calling you in. So just to let you know. And then he can kind of tell us also what's happening on his side of the earth. Okay, hold on a second. Let's a second, folks. All right, here we go. There we go.
Hello. You've reached Dr. Thomas Zorich, CEO of Tesla Energy Scalar Wave Enhancement Technologies Worldwide. Hope you are having an awesome day and a great day.
Okay. Oh, hold on.
Please leave a message, and I'll get right back to you. Thank you.
Yeah.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. If you're satisfied with the message, press 1. To listen to your message, press 2. To erase and re-record, press 3. To continue recording where you left off, press 4. If you're satisfied with the message, press 1. To listen to your message, press 2. To erase and re-record, press 3. To continue recording where you left off, press 4. If you're satisfied with the message, press 1. To listen to your message, press 2. To erase and re-record, press 3. To continue recording where you left off, press 4. Sorry you're having trouble. Your message has been sent. Please try again later. Goodbye.
All right, everyone. Let's try Dr. Tom one more time. Here we go. All right, Dr. Tom, hopefully you're here.
Hello. You've reached Dr. Thomas Zorich, CEO of Tesla Energy Scalar Wave Enhancement.
Okay. All right. So I guess I just needed to let people know. Oh, you know what? He did say for me to go ahead and text him that we are ready for him. So let me do that real quick. So he's been having problems over at his end with power outage, etcetera. So let me go ahead and just let him know we're ready for him. Oops. All right, let's go ahead and try that one more time. And if you can't get a hold of him, then we'll just go ahead and continue. We'll get a hold of Dr. Tom another time. All right, let's go. Let's try one more time.
Hello.
Oh, hey, there you are.
Yeah. We're we had quite a storm.
Tell us a little bit about what's happening over there by you.
Oh, just a lot of rain, flash floods, power's out, and we're just sitting around the campfire roasting some marshmallows right now.
That's the best. That's the best way to have fun, even in spite of the world falling down. Right? Okay.
Right.
Good thought. Yeah. All right. Well, Dr. Tom, we don't want to take up a lot of your time. So tell us a little bit about what you are hearing right now in the financial world and all the things that are related to the RV. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of information going on.
But
we've basically, the biggest news I got last week was there was some trucks intervention against the delivery of funds to the exchange centers and certain banks. And that was about the highest contact that you can get, that I got that from, as you would probably know who that would be. So, and so those were been resolved. Just remember, there's lots of scattered information right now. A lot of people had to sign NDAs, update them, so they can't give up much information. There is a lot of white hat information that is being steered. So there's just a lot of chaos in the news. So we're hearing, everything from, the bank screens, seeing the rates, etcetera, that were minute by minute. Once again, I really don't think we will see anything until Biden and the regime is ready to be moved out. And also, too, we have the Brenson case, which is being heard right now in the Supreme Court, and tomorrow we'll know whether they're going to take that case. And the Brenson case, as many of you know, is they did not verify the election. So if it does come true, all 300 plus congressmen, senators would be ousted, and the election fraud go through. So that I think that would probably go through too. If it does, I still think we're in for. We have to have the financials, ATMs, hard to get money out, food getting worse, and then energy. I'm just saying it's taking down of the old system and putting in the new one, so people realize that what was really going on. And I think once the system has fallen so far, then boom, the RV comes in with all the other programs, Nasara, Jasara, to uplift it. So I think we're
all right.
Look out for the news. Yes.
Okay. Well, here I've got a little bit of news also. So two things. Since we're able to talk a little bit with Q, once for the calls, etcetera, I was able to ask in regards to finances, and I said because he said he's just as source, he's waiting and he watches the steps as we move forward, right? And then he said to me, have you noticed that all of the ATMs are now been redone? So they've been changed. And all of that is already and that is also another way of understanding that we are moving into the QFS. So notice that yourselves. So we've noticed that, for a little while already. So it's been probably a few weeks already in the making. So that's one of the little bits to kind of look forward to. And what Dr. Tom has mentioned already, that's also be aware of what's happening there. There's a lot of other kind of eye-opening information regarding the finances, which I'll bring up as well. So, but I did have a chance after having tried numerous times to try to reach Mr. S, and finally did get some information that I want to be able to share with everyone. So one of the key things that I had asked him, and I said, why are we continuing to have all of these delays? And I said, we're supposed to be going all at once, right, which is what we've also all heard. And apparently, and he said, well, everything starts back east, out east, the far east, like China, right? And I said, yes, we do. And, because that's where all of the dragons, from the golden dragons, etcetera, that's where all of that, and of course the elders have are the ones that really are at the key are the key people that want to get this started in order to be able to bring prosperity to the world. So he said they've already started. So Mr. S said it has already started out east, and then, of course, everyone is watching for the U.S. to get everything on the ball, right, get it rolling. And so we're still waiting for the UST and the DOD to get that going. He did, however, say that everyone who has a trust already, please go ahead and make sure that you have your contacts in place, that you have your teams in place. At least if you don't know who, who they might be, at least get phone numbers, know what banks you're going to be utilizing, their Tier 1 and Tier 2 banks. As first of all, make sure that you got the Tier 1 banks in place, which is, again, Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, Third, Fourth Bank. I guess that's what it's called. I can never get that one right. Anyways, Tier 1's number 1. Number 2 is Tier 2 banks. Make sure that you've got that. And we're talking about Tier 2 in regards to the credit unions, because you're eventually going to be pulling out the monies there into your own bank or into a credit union or a private bank. And don't forget also to take a look at infinite banking. Dr. Tom can probably bring a little bit of details into that, and as well as your family offices. Those are really key because they have everyone that you need within that in your particular area. And as far as where people are going to be going, remember that if you have currency, you will be going over to the banks. But at least get your bank situations all in place. Make sure that you 5 teams are also put together for yourselves, whether it's your trust, your trust centers, now you got your banks. You also have to make sure that you've got your attorneys, make sure that you've got security, all of those key things that we've already spoken about in the past. Make sure you've got that in place and you're ready to go. You want to go visit to the bank or wherever and just kind of and don't bring up, obviously, the term, RV exchange, but you could ask them, well, what is the exchange right now of this foreign currency called dinar or Vietnamese dong? And that's all you have to do. Keep it quiet until the time comes, because otherwise they'll say, oh, you're absolutely nuts. You shouldn't be we're not going to be, we don't want to even discuss, foreign currencies, et cetera. And then that's when you leave anyway. All right. So in going back to Mr. S, he's also said that he's seeing that it can happen anytime between now and the 28th. And he said the reason for the 28th is that's when the Chinese New Year begins. And they want, the good guys want to make sure that this gets done. So I also asked in regards to what is that called again? The EBS. So the trigger point, as Zorra's always said, is going to be the RV. So he said the same thing. He said the EBS, first the RV, then the EBS, and then the Restored Republic, and everything else will begin the process of falling things and going into place. But remember, all of these do not get done instantaneously, so over a small period of time, because by the end of everything, we should be moving towards a better world and get started with this, the golden age of peace, prosperity, and love for one another. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else I wanted to bring up in regards to that. I think basically what he wants everyone to know is that be prepared for it. It will, and I tried to really pin him down. I said every single week, we hear from others, and even including pertinent people that, it could be starting this coming week, could be starting any time. And I said, I think we're all getting really tired of hearing that. I said, how definitive is this? How definite is this going to be? And he said, it is definite. And I said, okay, All right, so you could, I don't want to say take that to the bank, but at least you know that things really are in the works, as it always is, and just have to kind of watch and observe what is happening out there, you know, in terms of what you read. And again, just stay very optimistic that all of this is coming into fruition for all of us. So I think that's really all I wanted to say. Dr. Tom, was there anything else you wanted to mention at this time that maybe that I might have forgotten?
Yeah. When I talked to Q, he said absolutely there is no delays. These delays, they were not delays. They're basically procedures that are just rolling out.
Yep.
And what he said, too, is not to concentrate on, you know, when's it going to happen, you know, focusing on those different things, but focus on what you want to do after this comes in, like it's already happened. So if you start out your humanitarian projects or planning your investments, that was the biggest thing. This is definitely done. I did get a few other extra things out of Q that I can't really say.
Good.
I think he would probably get mad. But anyway, we're on our way. Also, too, that noticed that most of the banks will be going to secondary banks. They'll be like offices. I don't think they'll be the regular bank that you'll see at the corner. There'll be like a mortgage or a financial center. So look at those. Some of them may have the banks. Also, too, that there will be, and I've gotten this from a very, very high source at the U.S. Treasury, that when you have all this money, that there'll be new instruments that the U.S. Treasury has put out there that are involve what they call the U.S. coins. They're a form of crypto coin, but they're not, because most of the cryptos, 90% of them will go away because that was a big scam. Unfortunately, some of us bit the bottom on that one. But there'll be so many new instruments. So just make sure when you have your meetings, that you just take your time and don't go crazy and don't start doing humanitarian projects. Get your life, your investments first, get those settled, and just see what's out there. There'll be a lot of new instruments. Definitely look at the infinite banking, those type of things. And also, too, realize from what I'm hearing is that, let's say if you do your exchange, you're not going to receive your $20 billion the next day in your account where you can go spend. It will be released over time through different instruments, okay? Because if we had quadrillions and quadrillions hit the world, that would create a crash or another type of crash. But we don't know what it is. Make sure you have in your forms that you want. You need a house, you need a new car, what some people need, so they can do proof of funds and get that out there, okay? But we don't know how the layout is going to be. It's a 10, 20, 30, 90-day rollout of your funds. You eventually get them all,
correct,
but you roll them over to investments.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that being said, Dr. Tom, thank you for that, is that, just take your deep breath, and it's going to be wonderful because you have a team that will support you. And again, as we know, it's all about what you receive. Work with the people, work with your teams, and just delegate. And take it slowly. Take it nice and slowly. It's just like wanting to become fully enlightened or to become super conscious. You don't want to do that, through a way in which the body and spirit are not prepared for that. That's why it's a practice. It's a daily practice. And the same thing with what we are going to be receiving. The receiving part of it, and I know Zorra will always bring this up, always has, is that it's for you, but it's for humanity. It's for Mother Earth or Terra Christa. So know that all of that seems so enormous, and it's huge, and that's why you have the people. You've got support at any, at any direction that you like, but due diligence, be calm, and know that when you come from heart, that your heart mind, that everything will work out just perfectly as it already is. So with that being said, Dr. Tom, thank you so much for your info. Take good care wherever you're at, and we'll talk with you soon. So we'll hear more from Dr. Tom as things move forward.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Tom. Thank you for your input. We appreciate you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, everyone. So let's go ahead and get back to Zaraya. And Zaraya, hello? Oh, hold on a second. I think I put her on. I had to put her on mute. Billy?
Uh-huh.
Yoo-hoo. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Hello.
All right. So let's go. Yeah. Well, we can hear you.
Good.
We can hear you loud and clear. Okay. So let's just get started with a couple of, maybe a question that came to me, and just this one question for right now, which is going to be going back to what was discussed yesterday with Q, and that was your experience in 2030. So if you can go into more detail, because we didn't really have time for that. So if you will, go ahead and get started.
Okay. When I was at Area 51, I was instructed to go down to one of the hangar areas, and when I got there, they directed me to a ship that was sitting there, and of course, as I was starting to walk over there, my flight instructor, suddenly was there, and he. No, I have to describe the way my flight instructor was. He was about 3.5 feet tall. He had big head, almond-shaped eyes, and he was a Zeta Reticulum. And so he was my instructor on how to fly the airship that we were training with. So when we got in, of course, we always flew at night. We didn't fly in the daytime. And so we, upon our being instructed, as I got in the ship and I put my hands on the console, a light bulb went across the top of my hands, and I was in full mind control of the ship. Whatever I thought it wanted it to do, I would think that, and that's what it would do. So at first we went out and we played tag with the Air Force. What I mean by that is that they would chase us and we would do L turns, and no way could they catch up to us. And then we'd stop and wait for them. And when they finally, did their gradual turns, then of course we would do another L turn, and they're at a loss because we would just run circles around them. And and that was fun. But then my instructor said, "Prepare yourself for time warp." And I said, "Time warp?" He goes, "Time warp. Yes, you're going to go through, we're going forward in time." And of course I was excited about that. And we didn't feel any sudden, physiological change at all. We were simply in another time. And, of course, when I asked where we were, because everything looked different on the ground, he said that we were in the year 2030. And when I, of course, when I was looking out the viewer and saw the ground, of course, I didn't see any buildings or highways or anything like that. And it was all jungle and foliage. Once in a while, I would see something that looked like concrete, but yet it was totally engulfed in foliage and jungle. And I said, the land mass looks somewhat familiar, but it's devoid of any structures. And he said, oh, well, we are now over Manhattan Island. When I looked down, Manhattan Island was a jungle. I didn't see any skyscrapers. I didn't see any highways or any bridges or anything. And I said, well, why am I not seeing man's achievements? Because in this time, man's achievements is already past. And I asked him, what do you mean by that? And he said, well, we're in a time, we are in full fifth dimension. So everything that was in third dimension, your understanding, is gone. You won't see it because you were in fifth dimension. You will no longer see through the eyes of a third dimensional being. You're seeing through your eyes of a fifth dimensional being. And because of the time that we are in. And I said, well, what time are we in? And he said, well, I will let the ship that's coming up alongside tell you where you are. What time period. And of course the ship did come up alongside our ship, and they made communications with us telepathically, asking us what time we were from. And when we told them, they said, you cannot remain in fifth dimension or in fifth density for very long. We will return you now. And the next thing we knew, we were back in our own time. But to get you to understand that when you go into fifth density, your vision, everything changes vision-wise. You're seeing through the eyes of a fifth density being. So everything that you were accustomed to in third density doesn't apply. So you're actually seeing a new earth through new eyes. And there was no highways or skyscrapers or anything like that. It was all out of your line of sight. However, it was, the buildings were there, but they weren't in our light, in our vision phase of vision. I think I'm getting that right. Anyway, but so that gives you an idea of just how close we are of entering into fifth density. You would term it dimension, but it's actually fifth density. So, and that's just a few short years away. So that gives you an idea. You've gotten a glimpse into the future.
All right. I have a couple of questions for you, Zaraya.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have maybe more than a couple of questions. So, number one, since you're talking about seeing through the eyes, seeing through the eyes of fifth dimensional reality, and then the other ship, was the other ship a light ship as well, like yours, and the beings that were there?
They were humanoid. They weren't Zeta Reticulum. They were humanoid, and they were not wearing uniforms per se. There was no military. No need for military, and everything that we saw in the ships, because they were translucent, you could see basically right through them, and you could see the occupants in the other ships. So
and
it's like,
so when you say, I guess,
yeah.
Explain the humanoids that you saw in those ships, I guess, is my next question.
Well, they were wearing jumpsuits, but they weren't like military. There was no military insignia on them at all.
So when you say
simple, silver metallic jumpsuits,
that
and
Zaraya?
And of course, yes.
So when you say humanoid, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'd like for you to answer.
Earthlings.
Okay, well that's okay. Well, when you say humanoid, that can mean a number of things. Hold on one second. I got.
No, we're talking about humans, like right now.
Okay.
You know, humans.
Okay.
Of the human species.
All right. Okay. All right. So, all right. So when you're so going back again, in regards to being able to see through being a fifth dimensional eyes. So that doesn't necessarily mean that in 2030, which we are approaching, that everyone is going to be in full fifth, because that's not how it appears to be from our point of view.
Well, from our point of view, what we mean by everyone that we were able to, to vision or see, there was the ground was all foliage, jungle type, and we saw humans on the ground, but they weren't in any cities as you would term them, but they're walking around in and around the foliage. The skies were crystal clear, no chemtrails anywhere in any direction. So it was a pure world, very pure. Meaning, when I asked my instructor, I said, normally you would see a major population, and he said, well, the surface of the Earth now, in this time frame, is after the gathering. After the gathering. Now, that means that the Earth, physical Earth, had already expanded and had already re-terraformed. So the people that were on Earth were basically there as visitors, like a national park, if you will. And it was all for their enjoyment. However, you saw no structures as far as dwellings that would be considered places where they live. So where's all the major populations? Some are in hollow earth, in your realm, and some are in ships, and some have returned to their home worlds.
Could I clarify? Help me to clarify.
Clarify whatever
something.
you like. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. So what you saw beneath you is already after the gathering. So
after the Earth is re-terraformed.
Right. Well, between now and 2030 is only 7 years, right?
A lot can happen.
If we talk about time.
A lot can happen.
Okay.
A lot can happen within that time frame.
Okay, so my question is that not everybody will, as we know, although the plan has always been to be able to raise everybody's, because that's why we're the collective. We want everyone to be able to move into a full fifth and into our new earth, right? But we also understand that in that process, and now again, we're still talking only 7 years. We're supposed to be doing our work to be able to transform and heal Terra Christa because she has been so severely damaged by mankind, right? And we're not saying us particularly, but the bad guys working with other humans to be able to put that into place. So you're telling me that it's going to, within 7 years, within these past 7 years coming, that we're going to be able to, as a planet, move into the gathering stage where everything is absolutely perfect.
That's what it looked like.
All right, we'll get more verification with that question when we speak with Zorra. I do know that I've just gotten a call from Sandy, who had been abducted. Yes, and she is also is the one that has presented herself with amazing skills in regards to being here on
you
this.
Want to bring her on, or if she want to call
on this plane, and see if she wants to add something to this. So, okay, Sandy, you maybe, it feels like you're already listening to the call. I'm going to be calling you in, and if you will, just go ahead and add to what Zaraya is saying. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and call. All right, let's go ahead and call Sandy. All right, folks, hang in there. All right, here we go. I have to call her on this phone. On Blog Talk. Getting a little ahead of myself.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here we go. By the way, while I'm calling her, Zaraya, did you know at that time that the people don't know what Zeta Reticulans are, so we'll ask your dad that question. But did you know that he was Q at that time, or Source? Or you just knew him as Zeta Reticuli? You didn't. Interesting. Okay. All right.
As my flight instructor.
Aha. Okay. All right. We'll just keep it at that. Okay. Here we go.
that probably will be fine.
Hello. Hello. Hey.
Hello.
Hey, how are you? Hello.
Hello, I'm good.
Jane
How are you?
Billy. Hey, Bill. Nice to hear you. We're very good.
Yeah, nice to hear your voice too. How are you?
We're good. You are right now on Blog Talk Show.
That's where we're trying to get. Yeah, we're okay.
That you're here right now
present?
with everyone, and we would like to speak with Sandy if we could.
Yeah, she's not here right this moment. She will be here in a few moments. So.
Okay. All right. Well.
No, we love your call. We love your call. Trying to dial in and get on it, but we're apparently talking to your personal number and not dialing into the show, right?
You are on the show.
Oh, okay. Well, hello everybody. I want to tell you what.
Yeah.
You're all to be commended for tuning into this excellent broadcast. We've listened to it for years, and it's the best I've ever heard. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, the other thing I wanted to say back at you, and Bill Whiteley has been the one who has brought to us the H pill and all of the wonderful sizzle products our way, and so many of us, Bill, have been continuing and taking these amazing products that you have, and I think personally for both of myself and Billy, we love the H pill. I tried to just kind of let go of that for a little while, and I noticed the difference almost within a week. So that's an excellent product that you have, plus all the others.
Well, I've been on it since 2017, and I love it. I take it every day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think we won't talk about products right now.
Would you like to give a testimony about the H pill?
Who?
Well, the testimony I have is, oh, man, I had horrible back pain and everything else and had 2 surgeries, and it was just miserable. I started the H pill, and I used to wear glasses since 1978. I didn't need to wear glasses any longer. My blood pressure went down. My testosterone went up. Everything worked good. Cholesterol became fine. I just got checked by a doctor about, maybe 3 weeks ago now. But no atherosclerosis anywhere in my body. Everything is fine. I don't wear glasses. It's just fantastic. I love it. I'm 75 years old, and I feel like I'm about 45.
Yeah, but you know what? I know you're taking other products as well besides the H pill.
Yeah, I do. I take, one of the most exciting products I've ever taken is the new Numi, glutathione. I've been chasing glutathione for 30 years, and it's been a fabulous product. But, products are only so much. They're going to help you out. But mental is, like you put on your show, mental is the most of it. What you decide to do and work that thing out, to where you can make the decision to accept it. And what do you know, folks? Here comes Sandy.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Thank you so much, Bill. And thank you also for mentioning Numi, because with you as well as with Dr. Shaw, who we'll have on our call here soon again, both of those those are really excellent products. Thank you so much, Bill, for being here. And we are ready to speak with Sandy. So, hey, Sandy.
Hello?
Sandy?
Oh, yeah, I'm just getting
You're on.
Is this James? Oh, my God.
It is. You're on Blog Talk. Everybody's listening to you.
Oh, I didn't know I was.
Well, you had texted me, and I figured you were listening to the call, and we were just talking. We're just talking about the experience that Billy had when he at that time was instructed to go on a trip, and it turned out that his teacher then was a Zeta Reticuli, and that happens to be that was Q or Source at that time, but unbeknownst to Billy. So, anyways, he took us. I don't want to say Q, or I don't know what his name was. What was his name, Billy, at that time? Do you remember, your instructor?
Well, he was classified as his. He was classified as in his omnipotent presence.
He was classified
when he was at
as
Area 51.
This is
on
the he was Zeta Reticuli.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
Okay. So so I guess so I'm going to ask Sandy. Just really, and I know that the call that we had with you, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you were on the call as well, and you were explaining what had happened with you, and presently, that now that you're here and understanding fully that you were abducted, you knew the process, you felt the process, and now you're here. And and at one point, even during our discussions, many months ago or years ago already, and I said, well, one of these days, I knew that you were going to be on our call. So here's one of the ones in which you are able to kind of communicate to everyone that is listening now a little bit about your history and what do you see, if you can, tell us what you know of the upcoming years, like maybe 2030 or maybe even before then. But tell us a little bit about you, if you will.
How far back do you want me to go?
Well, just a quick update.
Okay. Well, before the abduction, I was 3 when I began to see ships, and I had many presences in the house while I was growing up. Entities walking through walls from one side to the other. I'd be awoke in the middle of the night, and I would see ships outside going towards Mount Rainier. Sometimes there would be visions on the wall, and I never said anything to my parents. And then when I was 8, I was abducted, and I was so horrified I could not even speak for almost a day. But it just always continued. I always had a feeling there was something right outside the window watching, and it's almost like I could see the presence of ships in the back. It just never stopped. I got into high school. My first boyfriend gave me a book that one of the, I don't know which race it was, probably the Greys, but it was some kind of a book with looked like hieroglyphic writings. And we actually went up to a ship not too far from my house, but we all got scared and ran away. And then I'd be with my girlfriends, and I'd see them landing on the mountain, and my girlfriends would go screaming and running off, and so it just kept going. I just seen so many that nobody believes me. We just always,
really,
wherever we live, we've had something in every house that we've lived in. And even where we're at right now, we have a kind of a portal right outside our bedroom, our office door. And if I'm playing with the dogs and I throw toys, they go in there and they don't come out. So I have to look out the door before I step outside. Sometimes there's one in the bedroom. And actually, Donna Anderson was here yesterday, and she said the vibrations are just off the chart up there. So if it's a clear night, we can always see something. It's just a great area. So there's never a dull minute with me. I mean, it's just something all the time.
Yeah. Well, they're definitely keeping an eye on you. Absolutely.
They must.
and because you're very important in a couple of different ways, right? And you understand that. One, in terms of how the cabal want to be able to manipulate and take some of you in terms of part of their breeder program. And so again, for you to stay grounded and not be in fear, because you are being protected. And you'll have an opportunity.
Everything is everything is heart centered. So I'm trying really hard to keep my thinking straight, keep my energies focused. But I asked Q about that, and I couldn't hear very well on the call, but I do have some kind of super strength, and I'm able to do things that aren't normal. Is that part of the DNA change, or?
Well, I think that's, so you're not the only one that has very special skills and who understand being exactly. And I think that's also part of the revelation of who you are to the world. So you are very, very much an integral part of this unfolding of the reality of who you are and where you're come from, because this connection with our extraterrestrials and brothers and sisters who are of the higher realms, light realms, that's why you're here. You're going to be a big part of the contacts in terms of how do we relate with you? How can we be of support to you, and then vice versa? What can we learn from you? So all of this is part of the big revelation, the big awakening that is already beginning, and you're a big part of that. So we would love to be able to have you. Yeah. And Donna, she's a part of this too. She's next. So anyways, this is really, really great. But going back to the initial question in regards to 2030, do you have any feelings about that? Can you kind of feel what that feels like for you?
No. I wished I could remember things better so I could put pieces together better, but I seem to get information on a day-to-day basis as it's needed, kind of a need-to-know thing. So I don't, I just get glimpses of things. So I'm trying to put the pieces together a little bit better.
Okay. Yeah. You will.
But I know that...
As things go forward.
Right.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just feel the third dimension crumbling every day, and I'm so thrilled to think that I can finally get out of it and get into something a little more stable and uplifting and heart-centered, and where things focus around love instead of confusion.
And
the
takeaway, I think the takeaway for a lot of people right now, being on that other side, where I know that, I don't know, but being here, and of course, all of us are still not remembering everything, right? And even including those that are, as they say, very skilled in regards to who they are, and you for your strength. And you probably and you're being able to really understand where you came from and who they were, and all of the teachings that you have learned from them. You're going to be able to share that with people very, very soon. So I want you to stick around, Sand. Yeah. So we'll have you on our call again. I think what we'll do next time is. Let's do a call with you and other people that are abductees or have been abducted, and bring Zorra and Q to the call and see if we can kind of help you guys out as we kind of merge the two together, which is all part of this evolution of which we are all at. So
I would really appreciate that.
Oh, you're so, we really appreciate you, and we love you so dearly. Thank you so much for being here. Haven't taken all of what you have and who you are, all the struggles that you have had to kind of stay really centered and just being here and not really fitting in at all. And that is obviously shared as well with Billy and probably Q as well, because he's here in form, and etcetera. There's so many that's why we call ourselves the collective for a shorter name, that we are all together and we are all one with the same focus. Is everybody to remember, everybody to be able to understand who we truly each are and how do we help each other, right? So
I
last
agree,
word for
absolutely.
you. Yeah. So what would you like to say to the audience at this time, Sandy, if you will?
Focus on anything except what's going on. It's all being created in our minds, what we're seeing, and just focus on the bigger picture, because things are changing really quick. And stay heart-centered. Focus on love. Focus on our Creator. And just focus on being a gift to everybody you meet every day.
You bet. Beautiful. Beautifully said. We really appreciate you and love you. And Bill. So take good care. Thank you for being here.
We do, you guys too.
Okay.
Thank you
love
so
you.
much.
We'll talk again. Thank
All right.
you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye. All right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and there. Okay, everybody. Back to 2030. So with that being said, Zaraya, how about, do you think we can get your dad to come in so we can continue on our on our call today? It seems like it's still all about 2030, but that's also okay. So let's go ahead and do that. I had a few more questions to bring up besides 2030, but let's stay on that topic until we feel that it's pretty well, like we understand it. Okay. All right, Zaraya, can you bring your father through, or did you want to say something else? Oh, hold on a minute. There we go.
Hello?
Zaraya? Yes, there you are.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. Did you want to say anything more about
also understand that there's different timelines, and
right.
The timeline that me and my instructor went through, a time warp, is a timeline, of course, and a probable timeline, but not set in stone, as you will know. But so in the one timeline that we went through or went into, which was 2030. So, my question from my instructor was, how can that short time frame, how can everything change? And he said, well, quite simply, everything can change in the twinkling of an eye. So, I mean, what we perceive as time can be altered in a second, in an instant. So, just like when I said, I questioned my instructor, I said, how can billions of people be taken off of the planet and relocated in the time frame we're speaking of? And of course, he said with Source, all things are possible. And of course, we left it at that. But his explanation was quite vivid and quite eye-opening. And literally, he says, you have the power within you to change your reality. And I said, well, I understand that. I said, do you really understand that? I said, probably not. But he said, the earth can be re-terraformed in an instant. And people can be removed from the planet in an instant. So it's not like it would be an ongoing process, very slowly done. It can be done in an instant. where millions of people can just vanish off the earth and relocate to starships and to their own planets and say, in an instant. It's like, that is mind-boggling to think that that could happen. And he also said that some people that won't accept what's going on, won't understand it because they're stuck in 3D, will be relocated to another world. People who are ready for the change, of course, will go through the change and move on with the planet. So to think that everything we're talking about happened within 7 years is not inconceivable. To some people, it is inconceivable. But to the full understanding of it, that everything can be done in an instant, that it's just way too
inconceivable.
Mind-bending, if you will. It's mind-bending. Mind-bending,
right.
Inconceivable, impossible in our understanding. But it is not impossible. Just
right.
like you can grow, just like you can actually grow missing limbs on people, or they can grow their own, and that seems like an impossibility or inconceivable, but it happens. And same with time, because time is a no thing. And so...
Well, thank you for that, Zaraya.
Yeah. Time is like I said, it's a no thing. It's not real. Time is like a hologram or like an illusion. And when we spoke about, we speak about in Hollow Earth about amino acid computers, they have the same type of computers in the military now, right now, and they're using them, and of course they haven't been released to the public yet, but they will be. And when that happens, it'll be a game changer for the computer industry.
Right. Hey, Zaraya, I'd like to kind of stay on track with our call. We could talk about computers at another time. Can we have your dad?
You're talking about time travel.
Right.
Of course. Of course we can.
Thank you. Yeah. Let's see. I'm sure that Zorra is going to be able to fill in some gaps here regarding 2030 and time travel and warps and about the zeta reticuli. So that's this particular. And thank you, Dee, for bringing this up again regarding a call. And I do still also want to be able to take some people's questions as well on this call. So Zorra, are you here with us?
Indeed. I've been listening.
Yes. All right. So perhaps we could stay on the same subject of 2030. So let's backtrack a little bit. So Billy now has identified his instructor as a Zeta Reticuli. So can you please give us more information about who they are and where they're from? And yeah, we could start right there, if you will.
Well, to put it quite simply, Zeta Reticulans are your future. Their bodies are from your future. When
you mean their bodies the way they are right now? So I'd like to just kind of have like a conversation, if you will. So their bodies, you say, are in the future. So that means they're not, we're not a part of that density in order for us to be able to know of them, but they are there in the future densities.
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
They are, in a sense, yes. The Zeta Reticulans are Earth people from the future. Future existence. And, of course, they went out into the stars. They went out into the stars way back in your time periods, 1957.
That's in the past, Zorra. 1957.
Oh, yeah, of course, very much in the past. 1957. That's when America, China, Russia, and let's see, China, Russia, America, and the Zetas,
UK,
created a space station in 1947, and this is around Mars.
Or 57? You said 47, or you said 57, and now you're saying 47?
I said 57. No.
Okay, 57.
Understand that the space station was built. By the time 1957 came around, the space station was fully built, and that was in orbit around Mars. And that station has been there ever since 1957. And it's a joint Soviet, Chinese, and American space station.
And were these humans that decided?
Many humans on that space station have also had families, on the space station. And periodically, people are taken to the space station and to work and live. And so space travel was already perfected, NASA-wise, way back in 1957, which is also, as you term it, inconceivable. But it's true.
Could I backtrack, Zorra?
Of course.
So the ones that decided, well, obviously, someone had to. If the Zeta Reticulans were first created, they were created, or how did they come into evolution? How did they become a part of the creation? Who was in charge of that? And that's why they are
Source.
Of our future. Source. So
yes.
How did he get three the biggest countries to partake in this? I mean, they had to be the good guys, right?
Of course. When the Zetas came to Earth, back in 1957, or before 1957, the Zetas, the first contact with the Zetas was in 1943. And that happened during an experiment that happened over in Virginia, in Norfolk, Virginia. You term it as Philadelphia experiment, where a U.S. destroyer, by being using the rainbow effect of stealthing, radar invisible, the ship got caught in a time warp, and during this experiment, and the Zetas stepped in at that time, and
the Zeta.
So it was the Zetas, yes.
So just hang in there for a second. So I'm just trying to help myself as other people so we get it. So this Philadelphia experiment, and tell us a little bit about what that experiment was. But they got themselves stuck into. They went through a warp, right? Or no? They
a phase.
Yeah. Did they go
a time phase?
So
that's why when they came back, when the ship came back in, when the ship came back into the harbor, reappeared, some of the sailors were embedded in the deck or in the walls.
So they went into. So it went into the future, right?
Yes, it did, and then back again.
And so that's how. And so that's how they came into our world.
Right.
They were not created. They were created outside of the sphere of our galaxy, correct?
They were already created.
Right. They had already always been created.
Of course.
But their participation...
They were living in a... Yeah.
Their participation in regards to part of our participation was when it was through the Philadelphia experiment that came about, and then that's how we know of the Zeta Reticulans, correct?
Yes. That's also how it came about to be where they were going, NASA was already working in plans for a space station to put in orbit around the Earth. And of course, then the Zetas said, why not put it around Mars instead? And of course, that was an agreement between Russia, China, and America.
How did those two countries get involved, Zorra?
They came together in agreement.
No, how did...
They came together in agreement with the United Nations in New York, and the forming of the United Nations at that time. There was a group of nations that met in New York, along with NASA, and they came up with a plan. Pardon me.
Zorra, it's okay. Why don't you get some water? Poor Zorra. Have some water, please. Okay.
Mm-hmm. They devised a plan to build what you call the space station around Mars. So, with the help of the Zetas, NASA was able to create and build a space station in the orbit around Mars. And it was finished by 1957. Then, of course, they transported families to that station. Not just workers and people that would work there, live there, and live there. And, of course, and it was, like I said, it was a joint venture between the Russians, China, and America. So everything has happened between then and now. The Cold War and all that other stuff was just a facade, a false, sort of like a false front.
Yeah, it's a false flag.
And
false front.
A false flag, if you call it. You can call it, a false flag, a mask, whatever. But see, the Americans, Russians, and the Chinese were in agreement to a joint venture to launch these, the components and the parts and all this to build the space station around Mars. That's why a lot of people would see ships taking off from Russia, and ships taking off from Cape Canaveral, and ships taking off from Beijing. In different times, they would see these ships taking off, and this was down through time until they finished the space station that's in orbit around Mars. It didn't take long because the Zetas were helping them do it.
Okay, so just a real quick question regarding the Zetas. Are they what density are they from? What density are they?
What density are they from?
Well, what density are they?
I would say between the 6th and 7th density.
So, all right.
Not that far.
I don't want
not that far ahead. But still,
so I guess
they came with their vessels, and once the ships launched into orbit of Earth, then of course they intercepted the ships and the components and transported those from there to the Mars orbit. And that's how they were able to complete the space station in a short length of time. And of course, once it was completed, then of course that's when they started transporting scientists and workers and things like this from China, from Russia, and from America.
Okay.
Now, England was the other country.
England, right. So what is the purpose behind that, Zorra? What was the purpose there?
Well, the purpose was to, like I said, to create a living environment around planet Mars, in the space station, for research and things of that nature. But of course, when the cabal got involved with it, that kind of messed things up.
How did they get involved? How did they get involved?
Infiltrated the station. But still, as it stands right now, they've already been purged from the station. They're no longer under cabal control. And then of course the purging of cabal from planet Earth is an ongoing process, but it's coming to fruition as well. The cabal, as you term it, is on their last leg of control as far as Terra Christi is concerned.
All right. So you said initially in regards to that space station that is going around Mars, and you also said that
in
it
orbit
was for
around Mars.
Yeah, and so their role in regards to the ascension process, or it's in regards to what other purpose do they have there? Are they looking for new scientific technology? Are they recreating, people, or what?
No, they were bringing what was termed. They were the countries that were involved: Great Britain, Russia, China, and America. They were bringing forth a unified world, but only in the microcosm of a space station. Their purpose was to colonize the inside of Mars.
Oh. To colonize, you mean there was no one?
There was Martians that were already in planet Mars.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
And of course, they welcomed the people from the space station into their world, into the inner realms of Mars, which is also a tropical, somewhat tropical
paradise
as well. Yes.
Sure. Okay.
As all planets are hollow, right? So, and because all planets are hollow, all planets have a hollow tropical interior of the planets, and very what you call in agreement with life inside the planets. So, the purpose of the space station was, like I said, a joint bringing together of the nations, powers, Great Britain, America, China, Russia, and all those together, and the Zetas also, of course, to put together the space station, which they did for scientific research and things of that nature. They already had on this space station, no one got sick at all. Sickness was a thing that was eradicated. So the people that live on the space station around Mars, the Chinese, the Russians, Americans, and British, they are far ahead as far as the people on the surface of Earth. They're far advanced because they've eliminated the need for they've created a perfect society there.
So would you say, Zorra, that they're still in 3D, even though there is no sickness?
They've advanced to a what you would term 4 density, fourth density.
Yes.
And of course, where Earth is kind of stuck in 3rd density. The only reason Earth is stuck in 3rd density is because of the people and their attitudes and the way they think. And of course, the way they were programmed to think.
Sure. Okay.
So,
let's go back. I have. I'm sorry to interrupt, Zorra, but we have to do some Q&As.
Yes.
But I just want to finish off information regarding 2030. You've already told us now more about the Zetas.
2030 is a timeline. Just as there's different timelines. There are, which is a very probable timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Probable timeline, 2030, being in 5th density. Mm-hmm. 5th density is not that far away. You many people have already stepped through the threshold of 5th density already on the Earth. But they don't expose themselves to the rest of the world right now because the rest of the world wouldn't understand them because of the consciousness that they're in right now. But some, only a very few, but some from China, Russia, the UK, and America, a few of them have already stepped through that threshold of fifth density.
Well, how about the other countries? What about the other countries, Zora?
Other countries too. I'm just saying that I'm mentioning the ones I'm just mentioning now because their development was accelerated because they're what they just termed as superpowers. You have the Great Britain, you have China, you have Russia, and you have America. Those are the five countries that have conquered their on the station around Mars. They have conquered the urge for conquest or exploitation or anything of that nature. They've gone beyond that. So, and that's why.
Well.
And they will be bringing that back to the earth. Their countries, concepts, and to their respective countries to heal their people, and which is it's an ongoing thing. But also understand that the Zetas play a very integral part of what's going on in the world today. They've shown the powers that want to be, so to speak, a better way. They've shown them the way of peace, and they've shown them, how to bring world peace to the world. But of course, it's a slow process right now because there's so much chaos going around.
Okay.
There's so much, violence and things of this nature. They have to working to raise the consciousness of their respective countries, and of course, other countries such as Spain, France, Italy, Korea, and all these others. They've all have people that have stepped through the threshold of fifth density. This all started when Zaraya began her mission in 2011. It all ties in.
As everything does.
As everything does. We are one.
Which is that was your role in this that was your role to do that, to start the process of the revelation, of the awakening for the majority of the people.
Yes.
Is that correct? Well, you are Father
Correct.
God, right? So let's talk. No, I just real quickly, just so we can. You know what? Why don't we do this? We'll talk a little bit more about who you are, how you got to this point, and it's all about putting the puzzle together. So we have more information now in regards to 2030. That is a probable. Most likely, meaning that could happen by 2030, mean that is when it will definitely start, because it's all about energy and higher frequencies and our consciousness evolution. So that's the reason
Which is
that the focus for everyone is to be able to do that. Correct. All right. So if we do that,
yes.
we can make that that reality for us at that time, because in that time it's already completed. It's already done. So now for those of us that are not quite there yet, then we can go ahead and create that timeline for ourselves, right? Because every time we talk, every time you think, you're already creating a new creation of where you are. Correct?
That's right. Because thought is the creator, thought always is.
Well, that comes from the heart. Well, no, it doesn't come from the heart. If it comes from the brain, it could go in either way, backwards or forwards.
No. Understand what the brain is. The brain is the vault of knowledge. That's where your memories are stored. That's where a lot of your abilities are stored. You have access to those. If you basically go into yourselves, you can access those abilities that are dormant within you. Everyone has dormant powers that are lying dormant within them. The purpose of the vaccines back in the day, and also what was termed as crib death and milk carton kids, all of this had to do with control and bringing control, giving power to the military-industrial complex, to all about control.
Okay.
The churches were all about control. Your religion is all about control. All of it is all about control. And the powers that want to be, that are trying to control you through deception, by teaching you that you are limited beings, and you are not. By no stretch of the imagination are you limited beings. You are endless beings. You are gods. You are goddesses, and you are healers, and you are immortal. And the sooner you accept that, the better off you'll be.
Thank you, Zorra.
Take back your heritage. Take back your powers. Resist the governments. Resist their what you call mandatory inoculations or mandatory vaccinations. None of that helps you. It hinders and it makes your abilities dormant and remain dormant so they can control you. But in reality, you are not controllable. You are endless beings. You are immortal beings. You do not end. Your spirit continues on into another existence. I've been, anyway, so I'm getting carried away. But you understand, it is imperative that you know the truth. Religion is not going to give you the truth. Your governments are not going to give you the truth because they want to control you. You can take that control back by realizing and knowing that you're gods, that you're goddesses, that you're healers, and that you're immortal.
Beautiful, Zorra. Thank you. Before we start on our Q&A, Zorra, could you give us your boost, your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 boost for everyone?
5, 4,
and then we'll
3,
go through
2, 1, receive.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we receive. And from the gods and goddesses of
and
our being.
And also, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, energize all of your headbands. If you don't have one, get one. Even now, it is more imperative that you have a headband. It will help you in your ascension. It will help you in your healing. It will help you open your third eyes. It will help you realize who and what you are.
Thank you, Zorra.
And the powers you possess.
Are you ready for Q&A?
Of course.
Okay. There's our last segment of our call for today will be just Q&A. So let's go ahead and get started. The first person we have here is 719 ending in 0341. Tell us who you are again. Tell us who you are, first name, and where you're calling from. And your call is now going to be with Zorra. Here we go. 0341. Hello and welcome.
Lorraine from Colorado.
Hello, Lorraine.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Of course.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, I would like to know about 2030. I've been told that I have a job to do here, that I've signed a contract earlier. I'm afraid my memory's been wiped. Can you lend me any info?
Understand, I want you to do what is termed as what Q has instructed you to do. I command my spirit, repeat, hello?
I command
Hello.
my spirit?
I command my spirit to bring to me the full understanding of my mission, and I know it.
To bring a full understanding to my mission.
And I know it.
And I know it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now. I would like to get a reading from you, Zorra.
You would have to set that up with Zaraya.
With me? I got it, Zorra.
With Quasar.
With Jane? With Jane?
Yeah. I've got your number,
Quasar.
Lorraine. Okay.
I'm sorry?
All right.
What did you say?
I've got your... Lorraine, I have your number. I will put you on a list for Zorra to give you a call.
Thank you
we
very
will
much.
Let you know when. It'll be starting next week.
Is there a charge? I do want to pay you. I need the blessing.
So we can discuss that privately.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Next question.
All right. 619 ending in 6095.
This is Lori. Yes, this is Lori
Hello,
in San
Lori.
Diego. Hello, and wanted to, when Zorra, you're talking about so much out there to control, and I imagine that also is about food. And just, I know that on the higher densities that our food requirements really some of it doesn't really exist. But right now, as I'm healing my body and getting it strong, what can you say about, there's so much out there right now about foods that, like vegetables, that you shouldn't eat because it's bad for you, and also these requirements around protein. Can you just help to get some clarity around that for me?
Understand that living foods, all living foods is good for you. Living foods, fresh vegetables, is good for you. Understand that meat, red meat, is not good for you. It is a poison to your system. So refrain from eating red meat. If at all possible, there's only 2 meats that you shouldn't even attempt to eat, and that would be ostrich and buffalo. That's the only 2 meats that you can partake of that will not harm your system.
They're transitional.
All of the others, it's transitional to bringing yourself to become vegetarian. Understand protein comes from plants. It doesn't come from the animal. The plants and the animals consume the plants, which puts the protein into their meat. So when you eat the ostrich or the buffalo, you are taking in the proteins that the plants have already given to the buffalo and the ostrich. Because protein comes from plants, from the animal.
Thank you for that. Thank you. God bless.
Well,
Indeed.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we need to expand a little bit on that, Zorra, if you will. So what about pork and chicken and, shrimp and, the seafoods? Go through that as well because, again, for them, they're still eating, what is available to them in the water, etcetera. And then, of course, the vegetables. We have to be careful of vegetables and fruits, especially if they're already compromised with all of the chemicals,
as long as they are
the environment.
As long as they are organic and do not have any pesticides within them, no GMO, no what you call
yeah, but again, even those foods,
compromised,
even if they're organic,
compromised vegetables. And of course, the best way to do that is to grow your own.
Right. But backtrack a little bit, Zorra. So even organics and non-GMOs are also not the very best because of the environment in which they're grown. So, my suggestion,
all right, understand
is always
the following. Always understand this. You want, before you consume any vegetable or any buffalo or ostrich, you use your own technique of purification and you purify your food. You purify your vegetables, your living foods. You purify them with your own God and Goddess-given powers. You know how to do it. We have shown you. A demonstration is on our website for you to view. By doing this, you can purify all that you eat or drink. And it is instantaneous.
Why don't you, hey, Zorra, could you tell them, why don't we do a simple experiment for everyone and give them a couple of minutes to be able to do this with you? So, everyone,
all right.
why don't you
everyone, if you can, if you have, or a fruit.
A fruit or water. Mm-hmm.
A fruit or water. And once you have done that, I will know. So I want you all to get yourself some purified water or fruit, fresh fruit. And I'm going to describe the technique for purification of your substance. Once you have the water or a fruit in front of you, you simply rub your hands together lightly, and you bring your right hand, the edge of your right hand, down onto the table on the right side of your glass of water or your fruit. And with your left hand, you bring it down on the left side onto the table, and you join your last 3 fingertips together. That would be your last 3 fingertips and your thumb tip, bringing them together. Index finger, you just point it straight out. Then you bring it down the back of your hand onto the table on the left side of your cup or your fruit, and you rotate your wrist just a little bit until the vortex or the opening underneath your thumb is going through your fruit or through your water into the palm of your other hand, and you will instantly feel an energy, a simple force. It may be cool, it may be warm, it may be tingly, one of the 3. When this occurs, you stay in that position for approximately 5 minutes, after which time you may taste your food or drink, and you will notice a subtle difference in it. You will notice that it tastes pure, more purer than what you were drinking originally, your purified water. This technique will even purify purified water. So you can purify whatever you eat or drink by doing this technique. If you are below the equator, it will be the opposite. You will bring your left hand, edge of your left hand, down on the table, and your right hand, last 3 fingertips and the index finger pointed outward, bring that down on the right side of your glass or fruit, and tilt your wrist to where the vortex underneath your thumb is going through your glass or your fruit, and you do it the opposite way. And it does the same thing, purifies your whatever you eat or drink. Now, also concerning food, if you want to eat food, make sure that you eat it from your region. What I mean by that is this. If you live in California, eat foods from California. If you live in the central zone, you eat food from the central zone. If you're in eastern or mountain, you do it from that region. Do not eat foods out of your region, because whatever region you are in, the food you consume is what you call in agreement with your system. If you go out of your region, eating food, if you're in California, eating food from New York, or New York, you're eating food from California, it is an imbalance, and it may cause you issues, health issues. So
well, that's the reason why we
you
do.
want to eat
that's
foods.
That's
why
Zora,
you treat it.
That's why we treat it. Absolutely.
Yes. Of course. Absolutely.
Okay.
But it's possible.
Okay. I just
eat food from your region.
Okay. Because it's an alignment of your system. So the other thing I wanted to bring up, and so we can move from there to the next question, because we only have, 25 minutes or so before we end our call, and that is remember that when you do, so when people do the technique, you're actually changing the molecular structure of your water or whatever you are eating, and that's why you eat and or drink, and you could taste the difference. So not only does it change, so in the molecular change, you're purifying it, but now you're utilizing your higher frequency to enhance it as well. So you're making it it's better even for you individually. Just like the headbands. The headbands are not to be used by anyone else other than yourself.
Correct.
So, yeah. So
and
anyway,
also understand. Yes.
I think that's what I wanted actually to. Yeah. Go ahead, Zora.
Of course. Yes.
Shall we go on to the next question?
Continue on. Of
course.
Okay,
all right. So
yes.
our next question is coming from 952 ending in 1323. 1323. And thank you for the Lori, thank you for your question. All right. 1323.
This is Colleen.
Hello.
Hello, this is Colleen in Minneapolis.
Hello, Colleen.
And And my question is about the strong energies on the planet right now, and maybe if we could get a boost to strengthen. I mean, they're pretty tough for many of us.
Yes.
We could get a boost.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, because I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and thank you for bringing that up, Colleen. For many of us who are very sensitive to the energies, it's really taking a big toll. So I even know that with Zaraya, because she's requiring even more rest than normal. And for some other people, well, let me ask you this, Colleen, how is it affecting you?
I tend to my system gets revved up, and then I get dehydrated. So
yes, good question.
Yeah, and it's bringing up a lot of the negative emotions, the fear, anxiety, and you got to process it, and it's getting taxing.
Okay, got it. Okay, all right, Zora, this is a really good one for you. So tell us, first of all, before a boost from you to kind of help to balance out the energy so people can integrate it and doing it so that it doesn't cause us all kinds of different emotions, from anxiety to anger or feeling depleted. I can't do anything. My energy is so low, or whatever it is in terms of the vibration, in terms of how we're feeling at frequencies. Tell us a little bit of what's happening right now so that we are getting such an influx of energies.
Understand, as what you call the ascension draws nearer, you will begin. You're already doing it. You're already receiving extra energy that is coming upon the planet, and this is what is occurring right now. So
it's really
simple.
Strong,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Receive.
This is for everyone.
5, 4. 5,
Go ahead,
4, 3, 2,
Colleen.
1. We receive.
Indeed.
Balance, to bring peace,
and heart.
to bring calmness.
Yep.
Centeredness,
Good health.
grounding, great health. Yes.
Good health.
Beautiful. Yeah. All right. We got it, right? And we know it. Do you feel that? Can you feel that?
I do.
Yeah, me too. Good.
Mhm.
Take some deep breaths. Take some deep breaths, everyone, nice and slowly. Breathe in. And just hold it. And just relax. It's so nice.
Also understand
So when you
the
feel
levels. When you purify your water, the purified water that you have purified, you may put it in. You may dump it into a 5-gallon container of water that is untreated. When you pour the water into the water that is untreated, it will treat that water as well.
This is
also,
a manifestation.
If you don't have access to purified water, even water from your tap can be purified into the taste of spring water by doing this technique that we have just mentioned. And many people have already spoken of that they have done the technique with water coming from their taps. That is not all that good. However, when they do the purification, it purifies the water to a spring water taste.
Okay. Thank you, Colleen, for your question. So the other thing I just kind of want to mention, Zorra, I just want to mention real quick in regards to this process. This process, when you teach this to people that you know, and they can taste the difference, and you do that with your food going forward, anything that you're eating. I put, sometimes I'll tell either myself or Zaraya, put your hand over the entire refrigerator and go ahead and blast it with energy, right? And there you go. We're good to go. Everything we eat, go ahead, do the same thing. It's great for everyone to partake of it.
Of course.
This is a manifestation of our God and Goddess powers. That's how incredibly powerful we are. So it's all about energy. That is who we are. The more we do that, the more we can really understand who we are as non-physical, but energy beings, light energy beings. Okay, let's go on to the next caller, which is 43. Okay, so 450 ending in 4348. You are on the air.
Hi, Jane. Hi, Zorra. It's Diane in Canada.
Yes, hello, Diane.
Hello.
Well, I have a question, Zorra, about, first of all, thank you to be there again with us today. My question is about the Zeta Reticulum that you talked about before. And if I understand right, you said that they are us in the future, right? Is that what you said, Zorra?
Yes.
Okay, so my question is, how come they look so different than us, like the humanoid Pisces, like Sadian?
Because of their evolvement. They evolved to a much more, what you call, a thinner stature. They have evolved far beyond the physicality of them. They have the outside appearance is what's called their shell is a suit, basically. So the real being is inside of that.
The real being is light.
Yes, the real being is light, but their outward appearance makes them look appear as gray, the grays.
Yeah. Yeah.
The big head, almond-shaped eyes, and very
So,
thin arms and legs.
But
they understand they are quite muscular.
They sound like they're
strong.
grays, but they're like the grays, right?
Yes.
But they're not.
No.
Well, okay. But Zorra, is there any humanoid species? I thought it was some in the galaxies, all the galaxies and universe that are in a high density, like up to 8, 9, or like looking like not exactly like us.
Remember that we are evolving into light. That is who we are as beings. We are evolving more and more into light beings. So we can morph.
And that is your ultimate goal, yes.
Yeah, we can morph into any body that we want once we're in fifth.
Well, does that mean that all the Pleiadians too, they will not looks like they are looking right now in the Pleiadians? Well, I know there are many species, but let's talk about the humanoid species in the Pleiadians. They will not look the same in the future either.
No, I mean, no, that's not correct. They will still be who they are, as you know them to be. So why don't you clarify that?
As you perceive them to be. Understand, the Pleiadians are not going in the direction of becoming pure light, because they still have a physicality. And this is what they desire, this is what they do. But they're also in 6th density.
That is form.
Yes.
Just like in Hollow Earth, 6th density, and so that is form.
It is a form, yes.
Once you move into this,
I begin to understand.
The ones in the sun, the ones in your sun, known as Helios, they are pure light.
And that's how
whenever you see them, they're called the shining ones.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they are light. Their form is light.
Okay. Thank you for that question.
Well, thank you
very much, Diane.
Thank you.
Okay, much love. Okay, bye-bye. All right. I think we have room. Yeah, we have 2 more questions coming up here. So the next one is 808 ending in 8352.
Aloha. Hi, Zorra. Hi, Jane. Everyone, Happy New Year. It's Alex.
Happy New Year to you, too.
Yeah. Definitely want to encourage everyone. Everything Zorra brings to us is helping us all. And just clearing the air and us, we've all been through so much. But just centering into our hearts and really feeling in the new earth, the pure air, the pure water, the harmony. We're all here to anchor it in. So I want to thank everyone on the call, and Jane and Zorra and Zaraya. Happy New Year, you guys. Happy Jubilee.
Okay, thank you, Alex. And you, etcetera. Thank you for all your work as well. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I want to ask Zorra a quick question, Jane. If you could explain. Yeah, there's so many cosmic beings who can come in and assist us right now. So I wanted to ask Zorra to enlighten us on the nebulae and how the plasma fields are connecting us through the creation field, and how perhaps we could create a harmonious this joy that we have, which is our true essence, how we could create that field of energy to really bring us all into that frequency of harmony in our hearts and in our lives.
When you come to the point where you realize that you are gods and goddesses, and that you are healers, and that you are immortal, that's when you will realize, and that's when you will transform to the beings you were meant to be. Understand, it's very hard for you to understand this concept because you were never taught this in school. You were taught the opposite. You were taught that you are limited beings and that you must have a mediator between you and the Creator. And that's false. There is no separation between you and the Creator because you are the Creator. You are gods. You are goddesses. You are immortal. You are healers.
Zorra, what Alex, and Alex, I've got you, so we can listen. We only have, like 10 minutes or so. I've got another call coming up. But I wanted to I understand what you're speaking of in regards to the merging of plasma because that's one of the other technologies that is coming forth. Everything is coming gradually so that the bodies can integrate. I mean, it's already difficult to integrate all of the cosmic energies that are coming and flowing to us. So this is still part of that evolution, a gradual evolution of the bodies to integrate into our DNA, into our chakras. So it's not a shock. Otherwise, it would be too much, too quick for all of us. But again, just going back to what you're saying, that is all part of the evolution. So we do our part to do the best we can, as what you've already said and what Zorra has already said, and we can come together in that unison as one, and we are doing that already. As all the pieces are coming together, we are going to be there any day, any time, when we all decide in unison this is what we want. All right, so our next caller, Zorra, did you want to make a comment on that before our next caller?
Next caller.
Okay, our next caller now is 970 ending in 1197. Hello and welcome.
Yes, hello. This is Barbara in Colorado. Hello, Quasar and Zorra. Thank you for the beautiful. This is a beautiful call. Okay, so I have a question about the animals. Specifically our pets, and I, in my case specifically, I've had a dog since I was 8 years old. My question is, when I was little, I did not feel a part of being here. I was lost, and I got my first dog, and I experienced this envelopment, this surrounding, embracing of this unconditional love, and I've had a dog ever since because it's like my grounding, my safety in this world, you know? So my question is, in the evolution, right now I have, who's the most profound angel. Her name is Angel. She's been with me for 11 years, and she's kept me here, honestly. She's helped me get through here. So in this evolving, please talk about our pets. Are they going to come with us? Please give some input. And also, I wondered if you could help us send healing energy to them, because they're feeling all this change in energy too. Does that make sense?
Indeed.
Can you
understand the animals are more advanced than you?
Oh, absolutely. They're pure love.
Of course they are, and they are more advanced than you. You simply step into their wake. You step into their vibration and their energy.
Yes.
And become one with them.
Yes.
And you evolve together.
So will they be coming with us? Will they be coming with us as we ascend?
Of course they will.
Okay.
Because they're on an ascension road as well.
Yes.
Everything on the planet is.
Yes, I
That's
just
right.
feel like I've never felt such it has truly kept me here and just reminded me that of the love and that we're loved and that we're okay. And I mean, this little animal, this little angel, she is the most beautiful. It's the most healing. It's the most source God energy. And I want her to come with me. You know, we've got a lot more to do.
Of course.
Thank you for that, Barbara. Thank you. All right, I'm going to have Zorra want to maybe talk a little, if you will. You know, so we're talking about pets, and so many have these wonderful creatures that are there as their support system. So they also have souls. So they also can determine what they wish to do when they get into full fifth. Is that not correct, Zorra?
Indeed.
And so what are their choices? Yeah, what are their choices? Because they're independent as well. Their purpose here has been always, just like every living thing, has always been to be able to support each other, you know, each other, animal, etcetera, and also plants, right? But many still are in 3D. But the ones that understand and know that they are in full fifth, whether they're plants, like our beautiful trees, and or animals, they know, and so they can evolve to their next evolution if they desire it, when they get to full fifth. Is that not correct? Zorra, are you still here? Yes. So what is what is the answer to that? What happens to all of living things, creatures and plants, etc., in the full fifth?
They continue to evolve.
So, so if you're already, you have a pet that you love, and now both of you have ascended. So once you ascend, there doesn't have to be any more attachments. Attachments is all part of being in 3D. So each individual being, whether it's me or anybody else or Barb, we move into that dimension. And you say at this time in 3D that you want your pets to go with you. But once you're in full fifth, that no longer becomes it doesn't even become a thing to consider, because you'll be in perfect harmony and peace and joy all by yourself. So at that point, you can decide for yourself, you know, hey, you know, and if you want to be able to meet up with your pet, so be it. But on the other hand, you could just say, hey, go do your thing and I will do my thing. Isn't that not true?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
There is no more attachments, everyone.
No.
It is only oneness. It doesn't matter where you are in the universe. You will always feel that oneness. That is why when we all ascend, we will all feel the oneness of our loved ones in that frequency.
Indeed.
And that oneness. Like nothing has ever been left, separated. There is no separation. So I hope that helps everyone that have pets or dear ones or anything else that you feel like you have been attached to. It's all about letting go of attachments in this reality. That you feel that oneness only within, and then that oneness just goes out to everyone, whether it's family or friends or people you don't even know. It's all one. We are all one. So Zorra, we have like 3 minutes, if you will. Again, if you want to send us another big blast because of all the beautiful energies that are coming forth and people becoming more awakened and realizing who we are each truly are as just one beautiful light. So if you will do that with us, and then your final words, if you will.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, receive.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we receive. Fill in the blanks for each one of yourselves. We are light beings.
Just always remember always, all of you are brothers and sisters. You are healers. You are gods and goddesses. And you are immortal. That's just the way it is.
And we know it. And we absolutely know it. Thank you so much, Zorra, for a beautiful call, and Zaraya too. And for all of you that are here on this call and those that are going to be listening, we wish you a wondrous, glorious, and most loving now that it is. Okay? See you all. Talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye.